is a television tower, a skeleton of steel, but a solid moving force in our life today. And we will tell the story of the steel tower in terms of a boy, an American male child. Age? Well, about going on 12. Home? Your Street, USA will do very nicely. Name? Well, because you'll get to know this boy for what he is and what he represents, his name is not important. He represents a number of things, all of which add up to the future of our country. He may become a scientist or perhaps an educator. He might even join the Space Patrol. But today, he spends a lot of his time in the company of a friend of ours, a steel tower. There are all kinds of steel towers, but our particular tower transmits television signals to energize a home receiver that has become a very important part of our young man's everyday life. He and his family depend upon it for a good deal of their entertainment. They also depend upon it for much of the news and information of their community, state, and nation. It is a welcome guest in the home. Our young man takes a shortcut home. And at the moment, it's hard to tell what he might be thinking. But we can tell you that he represents a constant challenge to all men everywhere who believe in freedom and truth. Specifically, this challenge is the day-to-day guidepost for responsible men in television broadcasting. Men who work in the shadow of the steel tower. Men who use it to distribute ideas and strengthen ideals. Today, our boy comes home in the sunshine of freedom and safety. He meets and plays with a familiar friend. In a moment, he will have another companion, our familiar guest in the house. The NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, the guest in your house. The guest that concerns itself with the future of our boy. Because of its being, this boy will grow up acutely aware that there are forces at large alien to his way of life. 12 years old, with a 20-inch screen, and he has seen the face and forces of evil. Communism is a word he is learning to understand. Moscow is a city he hears of often. Names such as Khrushchev, Bulganin, and Zhukov have meaning. His horizons are no longer confined to the front yard. He can see across oceans. A familiar reminder in the town square. That brass plaque, a war memorial, suddenly comes to life, for even a 12-year-old boy can now relate the past with the future. He has seen graphic lessons in freedom more often than once. It is no longer true, nor will it ever be again, that a dogfight down the street is bigger news than a revolution in Hungary. Another lesson in freedom. He watches on that screen the men and women, and yes, the children, fighting in a turbulent land for a cause that might well be his. Our boy travels down a road on a sunny day, and without knowing it, there's a lot of people working in his behalf. For one of the most detailed provisions of the National Association of Broadcasters Code deals with the treatment of news and public events. Television news must be presented fast, accurate, and fairly. In a good many cases, it is presented